Right, so I have returned once again today to actually deliver another stream of Revolutionary Girl Utena. Oh, that was loud. I forgot I had my headphones really loud just then. Oh shit, that's actually quite loud. Shah good to go as well. So anyway, yeah, let's actually turn my headphones down before I actually accidentally blow my eardrums once again. Actually have returned actually episodes 21 and 22 of Revolutionary Girl Utena, as we actually kind of finished off the entire saga from last arc, which itself was kind of both very interesting, also both very depressing. Hello, thank you so much. I do send you one back as well. I will cherish it, do not worry. I send you one back as well. So yeah, I mean, it's depressing up because again, we have Worst Boy back, which is like not good. He's Worst Boy. But then we also have the whole entire idea of actually what it does in free mean to be a part of this whole entire like saga essentially. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it strikes you as a little bit kind of like just like bro essentially, like in essence how it prides upon the weaknesses of people, but at the same time it also kind of has this level of possibility that it doesn't affect everyone because of the emotions that do reside in that person. Because it didn't affect the person we had thought that was going to go with our character from last time, but then at the same time it affected her instead, which was actually quite interesting. Because again, it's one of those things that you thought, well, okay, he's actually harboring feelings for her. She's basically rejected him and actually gone for the worst possible boy in the universe. And yeah, you think to yourself, okay, so what's gonna happen there? Like, is he gonna become a part of the whole entire Black Rose saga? And no, he doesn't. Which does kind of strike me as a very interesting idea, because I guess his emotions can't in theory like coincide with the Black Rose saga itself, or the Black Rose itself, I should say. So yeah, I kind of thought it to be very interesting. So again, this arc feels very different in tone than the previous ones. Granted, not saying that this is actually like a far departure from Revolutionary Girl Utena, because Utena's always actually kind of went in with dark themes, but it's quite interesting still anyway. So anyway, enough talk of my enough ramblings. Let's actually get a show on the road. It's actually put on to actually gone live before I forget to. Alright, so I do believe with that we should be good to go. We certainly are. So hopefully this actually all works. Kind of hoping it does. Is it actually? Seems like it is. Yeah, seems like it's working. Right, anyway, let's get this show on the road. Start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. Let's actually put the episode up. I forgot to actually do that. So we need 21. There we go. Before I forgot to. Anyway, yeah, it's a very this is one of those arcs that it kind of strikes me as very different. Because again, there's always been this idea of fighting for what you believe in and fighting for freedom, because that's what it kind of does in theory evoke, this whole entire arc. But this arc's also putting characters who otherwise aren't meant to be a part of this whole entire thing into the mix. Essentially, the whole entire idea put Wakaba into the entire mix, and actually, that was kind of really bad, because we know the feelings between Wakaba and Utena. So at that point, you can't understand that it's one of those things that this arc doesn't hold the same feeling. You don't ever kind of look forward to the battles, even the previous arc, you didn't look forward to them because they weren't meant to be celebrated. They're more or less a means to an end, so to speak. But even more so now, with how this whole entire show's dealing with the Black Rose saga, it doesn't feel so much as like, oh shit, these are amazing, these fights are great. No, they're over in an instant, and when they kind of end, you're like, what was the point of that all? And I guess that's what it's trying to evoke, the idea of like how people's freedoms will be taken away from them, actually then have to be forced to have to fight. It's all those kind of emotions. Actually, it's quite an interesting arc. That's why I quite like it. Because it's a complete juxtaposition between the previous one. So it does still kind of explore like the themes of the show itself and actually reinforces them, but it does it in such a way that it kind of it feels kind of really, really scary at the exact same time. Vermin. Oh shit, it's Toga. It's the boy. It's the man who traded his nips for good sword skills. I do actually wonder if we actually get an episode with Nanami that actually kind of reinforces the whole entire like themes of her character as well. I guess she's the only one that actually hasn't technically had one yet. But even more interesting as well is the idea that actually how secondary characters take up quite a large amount of importance in this arc as well. Because again, there's always been like the set amount of characters that Utena kind of duels. You're like, okay, all right, but now it's actually kind of like there's actually external as well, more so than before, which is actually quite interesting. Again, it feels so different, but it feels so like in tune with Utena itself. That's the thing with this arc. It's like a complete 180 where you're kind of like, what the fuck's happening, guys? What's going on here? Not that kind of feeling, but it kind of just, it works really well. Those three dudes. Even Choo Choo got an invite as well. Toga actually literally has no nips. That's the problem. His nipples are gone. His nipples are gone. Man, she's so good. She actually has the power just to kind of, just to kind of move around the world without actually having to touch the floor. Oh no, she has roller skates. Man, I was under the impression that she actually defied laws of physics and actually managed to actually kind of just walks across the whole entire place of actually walking. But alas, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Could this be a love rivalry? Could this be a love rivalry? That's a scary room. That's a scary room. I mean, if only she actually knew what was going on with Toga as well. If only she knew. The one that's actually is going to be like a two-parter again, because I actually feel like this actually could be one episode itself. Everyone's kind of tragic in this show as well when you think about it. This whole entire show is about the idea of actually being like, you know what, I'm gonna do something, and then you're like, oh, when it all kind of starts to happen, it's just all kind of goes wrong. The entire thing of Wakaba from last time. God damn, like, the entirety of Core 1 itself. Choo-choo's comfy. I really do actually kind of want, that, what they're called, like, telescopes that view the stars, I guess, which is, like, the most, ordinary term for it. But I kind of actually really want one. They're really cool. Maybe even one that big as well, because it's just so goddamn massive, for no reason. Oh. Oh. Once again. Oh. Maybe there is a repeat of the previous arc a little bit with the whole entire idea of, like, Anthe's true nature in this whole entire show. Maybe it is actually kind of highlighting it again, because again, it's one of those ideas that you don't know whether or not everything is truly, like, genuine, or everything could in theory be just kind of a little bit, no. Not so genuine, I guess. Nah, he's too cool. The rain doesn't affect him in any way, shape, or form. He's just, he's way too cool for rain. He's way too cool for rain. Just throw it at him. Just be like, bro, you forgot your umbrella, you idiot. And just throw it at him. Man, has she got a sixth sense or something? she's got a pretty damn good sixth sense when it comes to Toga as well. Uh-oh, she's pissed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. It is a rivalry here. It is a rivalry. If only she knew. If only she knew. Oh, that's spicy. Oh, that's spicy. Do you see that? Just like, did you hear something? Nah. Didn't hear nothing. And just left her. Just left her. Can't believe it. The audacity. The audacity. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's the lift. I guess pretty shitty, to be honest, if I'm gonna be brutally honest there. I mean, let's not forget what she's done in the past, because the whole entire thing with Toga. Let's not forget that whole entire dealio. It's unlucky. Oh shit, titties out. He's got his titties out. imagine if Nanami just walked in on that. She's like, it's like, the hell are you doing? Toga's just sort of just vibing the entire time. I mean, I must imagine you two at this point must be like, fucking hell, again? Every single 5 minutes I'm like, I don't want to fight anymore. God damn it. I get the idea of why the episode's called Vermin as well, with the whole entire, with the crew behind kind of speaking about bugs and shit like that. By the time this whole entire show's over, I can imagine the amount of times that Yuta's actually kind of walked up these pairs of stairs to fight someone. She could run a marathon 10 times. I can imagine. She actually could probably run a marathon 10 times over. But I mean, at the same time, it's just kind of like, it's kind of bruh. The whole entire thing with Nanami, Toga, and everyone else. She kind of just keeps him away from everyone else, like as if no one else can get to him besides her. When clearly, there has been instances where that's actually kind of Ohio gozaimasu, genki desu ka. We're doing quite the opposite, actually, to be honest. Because there's always there was a whole entire thing with Utena as well, and then there's also other things as well. The whole entire thing, I believe, with Anthe as well, at one point. There's a lot going on, so it's kind of one of those things that Anami's just kind of just there, essentially, in the entire thing. I guess it's actually kind of what the show was going for at one point as well, like she was just kind of there. Not so much as one-sided too much, but kind of in a way as well. Like how she kind of just views him that way and that way only, and he's just kind of there like, yo, what's up, basically. Imagine the lights in that place must be like, god damn it again, as well. Yeah, I'm alright today. I'm not the best. I had a really bad headache earlier on. Like, really, really bad. But I actually kind of take some medicine before streaming and actually now feel slightly better. But I'm actually glad to hear you're actually doing pretty good. And in a narrative voice, she probably won't do that. She just turns around and goes, a future with that dude? Really? You fight for him? Out of everyone else in this show? Granted, is there a best boy in this show at this point? I don't know, actually. It's actually not goddamn Seaweed Boy, though. It's just like, I want to fight for Seaweed Boy's love. I'd be like, why the fuck would you want to do that? Of all people in this world. You want to fight for that man? That piece of seaweed? That piece of kelp? She's like, well, you know, understanding it might actually make this whole entire fight a little bit better, to be honest, but okay, I guess. When she defeats the sword, song's actually really good. If she defeats the sword, then it's not the most noble sword in the whole entire world, is it? It's sort of just there, vibing. And just like that. She's kind of just like, what now? That was pointless, wasn't it, bruh? It's very true, Utena. It's very true, actually. It's actually really true, to be honest. You don't know where the seeds of hatred, might, and fury spread. Even when you don't expect it, to be honest. That's not even a good ending, to be honest, when you think about it. It's not as if like the whole entire ending's kind of like positive. It's just kind of like, ah, yeah, I won't be with him. Oh man, I can't believe it. She's just kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't be with him. What are you talking about? And then she's like, Nanami's like, yeah, you're right. You won't be with him at all, will ya? Will ya? Alright, Anthe, that got deep. Anthe's just like, yeah, by the way, here's some of the realest lines you hear in this whole entire anime. I'm like, wow. Alright. Okay, so, tell me if I'm wrong. I didn't have a good ending, did it? That wasn't a positive ending. She's lying to herself at this point now. As Anthe said, she's basically just lying to herself to actually kind of just continue on. I'm kind of like, is that a good thing? Did we actually get a positive ending this time around? to the extent everyone's kind of had that sort of reconciliation moment at the end of it all. Not entirely, but everyone had that reconciliation moment. But here it's just kind of like, huh, huh, all right, I guess, all right. I don't know. Oh, friendship and love, how thee be the strangest thing ever. 9 out of 10 times, I've never actually seen anyone in my friendship group actually have that kind of thing go on, to be honest, to my knowledge. I never actually seen anyone be like, yeah, I could just, you missed a whole lot of Nanami, basically. That's the best way to describe it. Oh my god, actually getting some more context on the whole entire thing from before. You know, everyone kind of getting thrown to a goddamn fire, essentially. That's kind of cool. Because that's actually a lot of things we need to actually find out. Well, hopefully this time around, the actual... God, that's bright! Why is my screen so bright sometimes? At least we didn't have to see Kelp Boy this time around, though. Oh shit! I have to be right on the dot with this stream because Funimation's horrible when it comes to like, when it comes to actually like perfectly aligning the times. It's hard on Funimation because it actually has the intro screen. It's the only one besides Hido that actually doesn't. It's really annoying. So watching episode 21. So I think probably by the end of this season we might be able to actually core wait, this episode or the one afterwards? Because if it is the one afterwards, might as well watch episode 23 as well. I thought episode 24 was the end of the Black Rose saga. So it finishes this time round. That was some impeccable timing by me there. I don't think I actually impeccably timed that, but oh shit, I got to change the episode on here as well. I think for some reason my entire stream just died for a second there. I have no idea why. Well, basically, Nanami's friend was kind of like, yo, Toga's kind of cool, I like him, and then Nanami's like, you fucking what? And then, yeah, you know what happens after that point. Nanami just kind of goes off on one and kind of just goes, you ain't having him. She's like, well, I could try, and boom, essentially. That's the whole entire episode in a nutshell, really. As explained the most English way possible. Which I guess English way possible meaning England, most England way possible. Anyway, let's get episode 22 started. Let's actually start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. Oh, interesting then, interesting. But yeah, I mean, the episode didn't have a positive ending at all, did it? When you think about it. I'm still just kind of sitting here going, that was not a good ending. No one was happy after the whole entire point. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary, I do say. Pretty English just then as well. God damn it. Quite the contrary, I do say. It was actually kind of like, yeah, she's just lying to herself. She's just kind of like, yeah, all right. I can carry on just lying to myself the entire time and just forgetting about the fact that I can get episode 24 as a final, right? So do it next Monday then. Cool. So I actually have timed it perfectly then. That's great. I timed it perfectly. I thought to myself, I wonder if I'm actually going to time this one right, and I actually did. So we do 23 and 24 next week, and actually then core 2's done, I think. Yeah, because 25 to 39 would be the last core of the show. Don't worry about it. Thank you for telling me anyway, because it actually doesn't for me, and I actually did plan it pretty damn well. But yeah, I just can't get past how that ending. It was really kind of like depressing, even more so than before. Other episodes had really depressing endings, but to the extent you're kind of like, all right, okay. But then this one is kind of like, oh, oh, oh. 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 Will he fight? It's kind of extreme, to be honest. Let's be real here for a second. It's kind of extreme. It's like, yeah, by the way, we're trying to kill her. It's like, whoa, hold up. Dead ass just went after Toga as well for no reason. He was kind of just vibing. Vibing being a very loose term in this context, because he wasn't really vibing, he was kind of just depressed the entire time. Did someone install a train track on top of the goddamn place now or something? Someone just installed a train track there for no reason. He's a balloon. He's a little balloon. So yes, I have not been working in the shadows complete this entire time, kind of orchestrating this entire thing to actually make you fight people. That wasn't me. I just own this really fancy elevator. That's all I am. I'm a man who owns a really fancy elevator. It's actually down the elevator to do with Inception, though. It's down the Inception elevator. Well, that's depressing. I want a choo-choo balloon. This is kind of a really eerie atmosphere now when you think about it. Ah. It makes it feel like you're in parts of a machine. I've heard that one before. How's that one feel about the whole entire show a little bit? Kind of a tiny bit. It's a running theme a little bit as well. A lot of the characters do feel like cogs in the machine at this point. That's deep. Right, so if going by the show itself wasn't to take importance over certain things in the scene, teapot, cat, and butterfly. Right, I'll keep that in mind, Ikuhara. I'll keep that in mind. 2 cats this time round. We've got 2 cats. It's a game of charades. 3 cats. It's a game of charades. We're playing charades right now. It's like a goddamn episode of oh god, it's like Blue's Clues. There we go. It's like Blue's Clues. Oh shit! Person! Keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. Lipstick. Doorway. This is a goddamn episode of Blue's Clues. It's to reinforce the idea, it's to reinforce the idea it's actually a living computer as well. So the ideas of attaining eternity itself as well. Could there be the theme of playing God? Could there Could there be the idea of playing God itself? Is that what the... So many things that happen in this show. Half the episode's like, oh shit, and the other half the episode's basically Blue's Clues. It's very green as well, which actually kind of heightens the otherworldly aspect as well. Possibly, maybe. Horror, you spoil me with the colours. Because he actually is a computer, a living computer, no less. Human emotions are beyond him. Not if they're a computer. This is recipe for it all going wrong at one point as well. If I had a helicopter just go past just now, what the hell was that for? Interesting. Oh! There it is again, boys. There it is again. The butterfly's what appears on the left, if I remember correctly, and so is the leaf. Is that what Ikihara's trying to tell us? Is Ikihara trying... Oh! The unwashed glass. The unwashed glass. Still has a lipstick on it. He's like, oh, but you will. Yeah, contracts aren't a good idea. If a chainsaw man's anything to go by, you do not want to do contracts. Place your bets. Does this actually end well or terribly? Oh, I've seen those lines before. I've heard those lines before. Kihara, you spoiling me here, boy. You're spoiling me. He's spoiling me. Oh shit! Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Been had. We've been had. He is most certainly a pawn in the entire scheme. Oh, use of colour in the scene. Use of colour in the scene. Kihara, you're spoiling me. It's like, sir, I didn't want to, you know, like, do that. Bit extreme there, my lad. Don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. Gotta be honest. This is kind of like a, you know, extreme messed up backstory, to be honest. Jesus Christ. This is a messed up backstory. Well, that's kind of interesting, but also very depressing. It's a lot going on. This is one of those that you gotta watch it more than once kind of episodes, because it does explain a lot of things about this, about everything going on here. The whole entire storyline behind Akio, everything else like that. It's just a whole lot going on. Ow! My wrist just clicked. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. That's not a good, that's not, that's, oh. Oh. there we go. It does kind of allude to the idea that there might be a tragic kind of ending for Utena's character as well now. I don't know, it kind of strikes me as a little bit of like a foretelling idea. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it just kind of gives me perception that maybe it might not end too well. Gives me the inception, gives me the perception to actually think that maybe it won't end too well. I don't know. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. Because again, I don't want anything bad happen to Utena or Anthe, or everyone else, to be honest. But oh boy, that was an interesting episode. Fuck. You know, you just kind of end an episode, just kind of like, oh boy, it's a whole lot to take in. It's an episode that kind of deals with the whole entire idea of, like, also to an extent, I guess, kind of playing God in a way, which does kind of possibly allude to the idea of what the end of the world kind of does in theory, like the concept itself of revolutionizing the world itself. When they kind of say this is your first steps to revolutionizing the world, essentially. That whole entire line gives the perception that maybe it's more a godlike, what's the word? Godlike kind of perception. Again, I could be wrong. Do not want to go there for counselling. Do not go down the Inception lift. So we'll next week's stream will be the final stream of the arc, I believe. I'm actually glad I have in theory enjoyed it. Thank you for actually being here as well. I actually have enjoyed your company. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting episode. Because again, it's one of those episodes I've got to watch again because there is a lot in this episode that I have to kind of decipher. Because it is an episode that deals with the whole entire concept of almost, to a degree, playing God. And also the idea of what comes with the idea of obtaining eternity itself. Again, it sort of alludes to the idea of actually possibly what happens at the end of this whole entire ordeal. What happens once, say, Anthe and Utena actually win and actually go to the end of the world and actually revolutionize the world. That whole entire concept, when you actually kind of put it on a world perspective, it kind of then gives the impression that the characters are attaining godlike powers in a way, godlike abilities to actually take over and actually fix the world. To that end, it sort of makes me wonder, is that what it's trying to go for? The idea that as human nature truly is, you can't play God. And actually, once you play God, stuff like that happens, like the Icarus effect, I guess. When you go too close to the sun, you burn, essentially. Is it the Icarus effect, if I remember correctly? And it kind of feels like that might be what it's alluding to here. The idea of actually what you are trying to attain is very almost out of the reach of humanity itself. And it kind of makes sense because it comes from perspective of someone who's considered to be a computer, who's technically, to that end, not human in a way, when you think about it. So it's kind of interesting that it's from a perspective, originally, of someone who isn't considered to be human. He's considered to be this computer, essentially. So I don't know. That's what it kind of feels like to me. It feels like what this show is alluding to is the idea that it's saying, look, this is what's going to happen at the end of it all. Something similar to this, because the idea of actually when he was staring out and then he saw the sister and brother in there, that whole entire scene was really evocative of the whole entire idea that it's trying to allude that maybe a similar fate will befall Utena and Anthe. So that end, it might not end too well. But again, it's one of those things we have to wait and see. We can't say yay or nay because there's no idea to actually say yay or nay to yet, because this show's very unpredictable in that nature. It's one of those things that kind of does actually tell us there is a lot more going on here than just fighting, essentially. The idea of actually what could in theory happen, what the lasting effects is all of this. Is there an idea that it could be a happy ending? Because it doesn't feel like Ikuhara does want to allude to a happy ending. I mean, if you kind of if you watch Sarazanmai, and I don't know if it happens in Penguin Drum or it happens in Yuri Kumarashi, but Sarazanmai, to an extent, didn't really have an all-round positive ending. Though granted, it kind of did end to an extent happily, but before that whole entire point, it was kind of very depressing. And it's one of those things that he sort of kind of plants the seeds of this idea that it might not end happily. Granted, at the exact same time, who knows? That's the thing, we don't necessarily know. But I like how it does, in theory, actually allude to that whole entire idea. I also appreciate what Kihara does with color as well, how he utilized the idea of green a lot in the backstory as well. That in of itself is very evocative of the idea of, like, otherworldly, the idea of inhuman, the idea of actually stuff that isn't considered a part of our world. And take into account what actually happens in the episode itself, it does kind of feel like he uses the color of green to that effect. He uses the color green to actually heighten this idea that there is no sense that this is human in a way. The people that inhabit this whole entire universe in that flashback might not even possess the human capabilities either, to an extent, or the human capabilities that we've seen already. So again, utilizing the idea of green in that scene actually was quite well done. So again, I mean, I think my stream's starting to die again, which is kind of annoying. Is it bad, the stream? I have no idea why my stream randomly just starts to kind of flicker for some reason. But yeah, I mean, I'll give it a second. Cool, there we are, we're back. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I want to wait and see what it is trying to allude to at this point. It's one of those things that is interesting me, it's enticing me to actually find out how Ikuhara will end this whole entire ordeal. Especially with this arc as well, because arc is actually alluding to a lot of things that are really kind of upending the entirety of the narrative of Utena itself. It's one of those ideas that it kind of I don't know. I have to wait and see. It's one of those things that's alluding to a lot of things I quite like, and I actually want to see how it does fully develop those things, and actually how it concludes those things. So I ended there. I'm going to see and try and fix my internet. So if you don't see Hyoka today, I'll probably do it at some point during the week. So I want to see what's going on with my internet, because my internet's been really, really strange lately. So with all that said, I have indeed been the driver. So as always, you actually have enjoyed this stream. Then, as always, Goshicho, arigatou gozaimasu. Boku no動画を面白いと思ったら、いいねやチャンネル登録をお願いします。So as always, actually have enjoyed this whole entire show in Dune Fury. Leave a like because indeed so quite a bit. Actually have then enjoyed this whole entire show in Dune Fury. Leave a sub because indeed so quite a bit as well. Actually have then enjoyed this whole entire show in Dune Fury. Follow me on Twitter or your Discord as well, because both help quite a lot, and both will then tell you when streams are live and any other streams I'm doing as well. So until next time, with some more Revolutionary Girl Utena, the final stream of the Black Rose saga itself, I'll see you